everyone. Thank you for joining this evening satsang here and also those who are joining online. It's one of the special times. I think everybody knows what I mean by that. But we have Nayaswami Dhyana ji with us and she will be doing the satsang today. Everybody, I guess by now knows that Dhyana ji is very much local to Pune now. She spends quite some time of every month here in Pune. And it is our privilege, Dhyana ji, to have with all of us with you today. She will be talking about her life, her time with Swamiji, and the later part of satsang today. And another fun part we will do later after the question answers is we'll also have a kirtan. One of the, I cannot say recent hobby, but Dhyana ji has picked up Esraj. Many of you probably have seen master playing that instrument. It looks like sarangi, but it isn't sarangi. It's called Esraj. So we'll also have that, and some of us will do in the kirtan, and we'll end with a blessing of that. It will be a little longer than usual satsang, but I'm sure we will not notice that. With that, I invite Dhyana ji just to come and join us. Thank you, and please stand, everyone. We'll start with a prayer. Divine Mother, Heavenly Father, friend, beloved God, great Gurus, Jesus Christ, Babaji Krishna, Lahiri Mahashay, Swami Shri Yukteswar Ji, Paramahansa Yogananda Ji, saints of all religions, beloved Swami Ji, we humbly bow before all of you. Divine Mother, we will think, we will, we will act. But guide thou our thinking, our will, and our activity in everything that we do. We are your children. We want to act as your instruments. Purify us, guide us, bless us. Om Shanti Shanti. Please be seated. We'll start with the chant, a short meditation. Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Brahmanandam Paramasukhanam Kevalam Jnanamurtim Dvandvatitam Gagana Sadrasham Tatvamasya Dilaksham Ekam Nityam Vimadamachalam Sarvadi Sakshi Bhutam Bhavatitam Trigunarahitam Satgurum Tvam Namami. Tvameva Mata Cha Pita Tvameva Bandhu Cha Sakha Tvameva Vidya Dravidam Tvameva Sarvam Mama Deva Deva Tvameva Sarvam Mama Deva Deva. Jai Guru, Jai Guru, Jai Guru, Jai. 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 Jai Guru, Jai Guru, Jai Jai Guru, Jai Guru, Jai Guru, Jai. 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 Let's meditate now. Let's double inhale, tense the body. And exhale twice more. Last time. Let's meditate now.
Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.
Now we will have the question answers with Nayaswami Dhyana ji, and I invite Anil to orchestrate that.
I want to say before we begin that it's just wonderful to be here in Pune, to be here more than I was before, and to be with all of you. It's a blessing. Jyotishan Devi ji asked me to come here and set up our work in a deeper way, to do a more pan-India, and not even just in India, but all the other countries that are nearby. We're in many different places, so we need a hub. And Pune is that hub, and that's why I've come. You'll see others of Ananda members coming, and not living, but coming and going. So you'll see a lot of us here. So welcome to all of you, and it's a joy to be here.
Thank you, Dhyanaji. It is special, as Amit started us off with. Of course, not only because Dhyanaji is here today, although she is, as Amit said, a local, we still get to get these opportunities not so often. So let's make the most of it. And it is special on another level also because today we celebrated discipleship. So 10 of our Guru Bhais have joined the family. So welcome.
Can you stand up if you took discipleship today? And some had to leave already. Oh, congratulations. God bless you.
It was indeed a beautiful ceremony, and it all comes together so nicely because this question and answers is about Swamiji, time with Swamiji, Dhyanaji's time with Swamiji. And Swamiji, as we know already, I think all of us are disciples on this path. He was a true disciple, a personification of discipleship. So we have gathered a few questions, and this will be mainly around so Dhyanaji's time with Swamiji. She has spent nearly 5 decades on this path, and most of it was with direct training under Swamiji. And so, and of course, especially for the new initiates, new disciples, take this time to interact with Dhyanaji after the satsang. So please stay back. And another special thing that has been happening throughout this week and will carry on the next week is we've been recording videos with Swamiji on her time with Swamiji. I mean, with Dhyanaji on her time with Swamiji. So those will be out also online. And for those of you who will be watching this later on, since you're not here, you'll get that opportunity to watch and hear from Dhyanaji about Swamiji. So on that note, let us ask Dhyanaji. I don't think we can throw any curveballs at her, but we'll ask a few questions around Swamiji. Dhyanaji, especially with regards to the discipleship, because it was a discipleship ceremony today, this work, Ananda, was started by Swamiji, and he was master's disciple. And how should we've many of us have not met Swamiji. Of course, we haven't met Master. What should our connection with Swamiji be?
Well, think about this. When I came on the path, I didn't know anybody. I certainly didn't know a direct disciple, a master. I didn't know another soul, period. And so think about it. How do you know what the path is about? How would you know? How would you know what the practices are about, or even try to practice them or practice them well? How would you know? How would you know the right spirit, the right attitudes? How would you know how to break habits, wrong behaviors? How would you know? You need an example. You need a guide. Those of you who took discipleship, you didn't just come sit here at the altar and read a book. Someone was teaching you, isn't it? And so we are fortunate to have someone teaching us who lived with Yogananda ji for 3.5 years. Now that's quite a blessing. And that was Swami Priyananda ji, who was trained, not only lived with him, it wasn't like he was sleeping and the master was doing all the work. He was trained by Yogananda ji. So Swamiji gave his life to take what Master gave him and to give it to the world. So people who didn't know anything, he took them in, he taught them the techniques. You all have learned the techniques. Before I found Ananda, which is in 1978, I understood the techniques from the written lessons only. Energization from reading. There weren't even any videos or anything. You just read and tried to do it. Hong Sa, reading. Om, reading. Kriya, reading. No one showed me. So you can imagine how I felt when I met someone who not only knew, but was willing to show you and to correct you even, and to make sure you got the techniques right, you got the teachings right, you started serving. To find someone who had built a yoga community, yoga meditation community, was just like, it was like going on to the moon or something. It didn't exist. And to have found a direct disciple of an avatar was an incredible blessing. So how should you connect? I would say the same way that we connected. He's not in a body, but nor is Krishna or Jesus Christ or Buddha, but their spirit, their vibration, their guidance, their teaching is still there. So I would suggest you make a connection. I met people who said, no, I don't need anybody. I just go straight to Master. They didn't look so bright. They had some mistakes going there. You need someone to say, this is a mistake. And I remember Swamiji said to me once, he just glanced at me and said, do you energize? And I hadn't been energizing. Then he said, you must do it. And I promised him I would do it, and I started doing it. Now, if you're on your own, I don't want to do it. So you don't do it. No, I meditate 10 minutes. You need guidance. And so also I would take the guidance of those who knew Swamiji. Amit met Swamiji, Anil, Bhavani. I'm just different ones of you here in the room met Swamiji, but follow the guidance of your teachers, of those who spent a lot of time with him. Go online, listen to the talks. I listen to them daily. He's my teacher. I'm not going to lose the connection. There's hundreds of videos on YouTube. Ask Me About Truth, the Sadhana channel, Awaken, something of awakening. Yes. And then there's another one, New Dawn. They're fabulous. Plus there's all the treasures talks. Then there's Swamiji's music. All of that is readily available. And more than anything, follow the guidance of those who knew him. Who are, not just anybody. I knew him. That doesn't make, were you trained by him? That's different than I knew him. I went to a lecture. So be with people who can help you to link. So he's our link to Yogananda Ji. Master, through Swamiji, helped thousands and thousands of people. And we get that connection through Swami Kriyananda Ji. He always pointed to Master. He didn't say, at least all the years I was at Ananda with him, he never pointed to himself as the guru. He was a guru, but he wasn't the guru. And he always pointed to Yogananda Ji and the line of gurus. So I think Swamiji came at the time of Master, so Master could pass the baton, all the disciples, and say, now you take them further. Now that's not the end. Then Swamiji, 2013, left his body, and he said to others, now you take them further. See, and then they'll be, now you take them further. So it's a lineage, and it keeps, energy keeps going. So it will behoove all of us, I'll end with this, to realize what Swamiji himself said near the end of his life, when we asked him at such a satsang with a whole lot more people, will you still be able to help us when you leave your body, like you've helped us now? And he said he had a very interesting answer. I really hope so. And everyone was like, didn't really understand. You had to meditate. What does that mean? I really hope so. I understood it later. Of course I will, but will you connect? Will you be in tune? You understand? Will you be open and receptive? I mean, and keep in mind, Master said Swamiji would find God in that lifetime. A Master's word cannot be falsified. So he left this earth and went into God consciousness. And at that level, you can be with anybody, anytime, anywhere. So for you new disciples particularly, take the time, read the books. I didn't go into that. There's 150 of them. You have plenty of books and plenty of time. Listen to the music. There's 400 pieces of music. And listen to the talks and watch the videos. You'll find that you, little by little, gain the link, the connection with Swamiji, which leads to Guruji. I hope that's helpful to you all.
Thank you, Dhyanaji. Another question is about Swamiji being a disciple of Master. What did he do for Master's work?
I think he was one of the, if not the foremost disciple of Master, because he, at the very beginning, he was 22 years old. Master got him in and started him serving right away. He said, you have a great work to do. Your work is writing, editing, and lecturing. He had Swamiji lecture on his behalf at that young, green age, you could say, when he was new. He sent him to speak on his behalf. You know the story from the path. And this monk comes to Swamiji's room and says, Master wants you to go and give the talk. And Swamiji says, I've never given a lecture in my life. And he says, well, that's fine. And also he wants you to give Kriya to one person. I never gave Kriya in my life, only had one Kriya, my own. So what is that telling you? Master from the very beginning knew the disciple that he had, and he focused him on service, writing, editing, lecturing, not just meditation. And so Swamiji took the teachings of Master and he showed how you can put them in every part of your life, and prosperity and success and education and relationships and health and healing. He showed so many ways you can apply the teachings, and that they're practical for everyday life. That's why those of us who were there earlier on, that's why we stayed. It wasn't we're going into a cave in the Himalayas for this lifetime. It was like, bring it into your daily life. Swami Kriyanandaji, he did that his whole life. He was writing. We were there. He was writing books all the time. He was playing. He was singing a lot as well. But he was also writing music. He was lecturing. He must have done thousands of lectures. I have no idea. But he was always busy. And you see people today, I don't want to do anything. Well, I lived with somebody who was like Master, just completely awake and ready all the time. And so what did he do? He was an example of the teachings. He was the teachings. You know, you saw him, Kriya Yoga in action was Swamiji. You saw he was able to explain to people. He was scholarly, but also had a big heart. He could talk better than all these people who were saying nothing. And in an hour, he could talk for 5 minutes, clip, there's the point. And he spoke from the heart. He touched people's hearts. He founded communities, which Master wanted to found himself. That's later on in the questions. But he has founded a Nayaswami order, which I'm a part of, and different ones. You'll see. Yeah, he wrote. You name it, he did it. And for the most part, the biggest part, I think, for me was he was the example of how to live a life for God. He showed it. He was it. And he inspired you to get up and do something. You know, that it wasn't about him, it was you. What are you going to do? And he would give you various things you didn't know what to do with that. You never did. And he would just keep you moving because you were growing spiritually. You understand? It wasn't, I'm the guru, touch my feet, come get a fan, punka, and you know, he was like, get moving for Master. Get a spiritual life, meditate, serve, chant. You know, he had you learning how to chant and learning how to sing and learning how to teach other people and share. That's what the wonderful thing, you just share with people. Forget yourself, share with other people, share the light, share Master, talk about Master, talk about the teachings. He was revolutionary, let's face it. There are few people on earth at that time of Swamiji who were like him. If he was able to touch that many souls that are still bright and lighting other souls, he was a very great soul and had obviously been with Master many, many lifetimes.
Yeah, thank you so much. And of course, I think he also wrote movie scripts.
Yes.
And we watched The Finding Happiness recently as part of the curriculum, his level 3 discipleship.
Very good.
Swamiji created community. Where all did he create communities and why is part 1. And did he try to start a community here in India?
Yeah, he did. I'll start with that. Here in Pune, at Watunde. And it made it for a short time. The seeds were planted, let's put it that way. Seeds are planted. Master tried to start a community. It didn't happen. He tried to have, people, householders and people living together. It just didn't work. There are times for these things, and America was ready for it. It was the hippie time. People were leaving their jobs. They were living in the hills anyway. So anyway, it took off. It took off really fast in America. And then Europe, it took off fast. And India is going to take off, but when? I don't know. But why did Master wanted people living together, spiritual communities, to start them, to be able to meditate together, have your school there, have the children go to school, have the work, everything in one place. And he talked about hard times. It's not a joke. People are comfortable now, but he said when hard times come, you're going to need the community. You're going to need to pool your resources. You're going to need support. You're going to need to have people around. So he said the idea is going to spread like wildfire. So I don't consider that a light statement. I think the time will come. Maybe that's when it will pull together in India. The other thing is, look, we do have a community here. We have a community in all the centers. We have communities in the meditation rooms. We have an online community. We have a home study community. So we have the essence of the community is people. It's not a place. So we have people, and I think the place will happen. We can't start with the place and hope the people are going to come. That doesn't work. So, and keep in mind, Swamiji himself, he lived at the Ananda village for decades and just made sure that was going in the right direction. He moved to Europe and lived there for decades. So you need somebody that's strong to make something like that happen.
Right. And when did he come to India?
2003.
And what was his work in India in those early days?
Well, it was like a volcano eruption. It was like there was so many things going on, and he didn't have much time left in his life. He was 77 years old. You would think a person wants to retire at 77, but he said, Master wants us to go to India. Who's coming with me? He called people up. There were 40 Westerners he brought over here, and we weren't sitting around, nor was he. So he got on television on Sadhana and Asta channels. We were there. He was like in a room like this, his living room. He did 10 videos every day till he got up to enough for the whole year. He just sat there, one after the other, 20-minute videos, 20-minute, every topic, from conversations with Yogananda. And then he would lecture. He would go around different major cities and lecture. Then we started a market, not a market, but a shop, a bookshop, gift shop in one of the big malls in Gurgaon. Because Swamiji said we have to reach out. His whole thing was reach out. I want to get my master's name and his teachings known in the place of his birth. So he wasn't sitting around. He was on television. We had to mark the store. He had us going out. I mean, we just lived in on airplanes, basically. Just go out, go out, go out, go out, go out. And teaching level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4, give them Kriya, go back, level 1, Mumbai, Bangalore, Hyderabad, Chennai, all in the NCR, Calcutta. It was just like that, just going round and round. And he would bless each person and then say, get out of here. And so it was fantastic. And then he was writing. He wrote Essence of the Bhagavad Gita here in India, in Gurgaon at his house. He was meeting different people that he met before who were helping us with the work here. I mean, you name it. He got a school going, Education for Life. He wanted that to happen. There was a long list of things he wanted to have happen. He was looking for people who would support the work financially and otherwise, and people were just coming in droves wanting to help this work. It was a very dynamic and active time. And he wasn't that well. That was the thing. He wasn't that well, and he was older, but he even wrote the material success lessons from the hospital bed. That's how much he wanted to serve his guru. Someone came in, talked to him about adharmic things he was doing, and Swamiji, it was the doctor, in fact, and then Swamiji talked to the doctor, and then he said, this isn't right, and he called in one of his helpers, and he started dictating the lessons from the hospital bed. So it was just like, he never stopped. He never stopped. I mean, and he ran circles around us. He just kept going. And what are you doing now? What are we doing? This is what we're doing. And so you have to understand the dynamism that built Ananda India. It wasn't people just sitting chanting Om. It was like busy, and a wonderful busy and joyful, and meeting people. And I remember when I came, I asked Swamiji, I said, should I stay here or should I go back to Ananda Village? I mean, we were busy at Ananda Village in America. And anyway, he looked at me, he looked at me like I was crazy. He said, look around, there's nobody here. You desperately need it. And then he said, and you need a break. I said, break? I never got a break in India. A break wasn't it. But he was reeling people in, trying to get people to help him. He didn't have long to live. And so anybody who looked like they were energetic, he got them going. It was live, shall we say, and something you just dream of being a part of. So then.
And you mentioned there were 40 Westerners at the time. What was the kind of seva that they were involved in, and were there Indians also involved at the time?
There were very few Indians in the beginning. I mean, there were a few people Swamiji knew from before, but we were meeting people. I didn't know one Indian. I mean, I didn't know anybody, nobody. We just showed up, There were people who just got married, and Ananda Swamiji brought him over to India. There was other people who just built a house and you come in India now. And, he just had to drop everything and get over here. And so we were busy mainly reaching out, teaching, traveling, setting up the centers, setting up the ashrams. We had like 5 or 6 houses where people were living. We were giving classes at the main ashram. And then we were in Delhi a lot, just giving level 1, 2, 3, 4. I mean, we just kept, we were teaching all the time. And just yeah, it was everything and anything. So some of us, you all know Jayaji, so we were traveling all the time together, and we'd go into a major city, and as I said, we didn't know anybody. We just would just get in a hotel somewhere, not a very nice one, and then we'd rent a hall. We'd have to do the promo. We did everything ourselves. So it was like Swamiji didn't say, go do this, and I want you to, here's some money now, he just said, get out there, go. He had people, he could just snap his finger, yeah, we're going. And so we'd get there, and then we go, we set up the hall, we had no help, we didn't know anybody. Get the hall ready, get the altar ready. Okay, now we got all these books of Swamiji, get the book table set up, and Jayaji was typically on the book table. I was under registration, and Dharmadas was there, Manita Shankar would go, Haridas, different ones. We just did everything, and we just then we'd get off the table and go give the class. And so the microphones weren't very good, the whole time. Now, what I want to say is, I went on the whole class, and I said, nobody's ever going to come back. They all came back. Hundreds of people for level 1, hundreds, 2, 3, 400 at a time. Every city, hundreds. So what were we doing? Talking to people, telling people about the path, telling people about Master, going back, giving discipleship, giving the Kriya. It was just, standing on tables, teaching energization. I did that many times because people couldn't see you. So somebody's holding the table and you're doing the double breathing, going out and testing people's strength. I loved it. Just helping people. And I think people loved it because we were so approachable. Nobody was like, no, just don't touch me, We were out there, hey! It was so much fun. And then after the classes, we'd pack everything up, pack the truck, meaning at that point, we didn't have help. So I remember this older gentleman saying, Dhyanaji, and I really enjoyed the panel discussion, but I know you're not going to go pack up the truck. I said, just watch me. We didn't have any help. So then what happened? He started helping. People needed an example. He said, we'll send the servants. We said, we are the servants of our guru. We want to serve our guru. So people need to see this is what it means to be a disciple. And so people saw that and they started jumping in, and then it just took off. People started doing everything. So why did Swamiji bring all those people? Example. People needed to see, this is what you do. You serve with joy. You do whatever there is. You do all the jobs. Even if there were so many names, I couldn't pronounce them. The Subramaniam, and I said, can you spell that? Can you write that down? And it was just, it was like being on the moon. It was fun. It was totally fun. And the best part was Swamiji's joy, because he didn't have to say a whole lot. We just did it. We knew what he wanted, and we didn't, I don't want it. It's cold. It's hot. There's mosquitoes. I don't want to go. Nobody. It was like, yeah, let's go for it. It was like he was the general and we're in the army, and whatever he said, we just ran and did it. And the joy and the spiritual growth, I've never traded that for anything. Yeah. Others of you, Mansi and Dr. Amar, various ones of you met Avinash and met Swamiji, and he was on fire for God, and you were lit. If you weren't lit, you went home, basically. If you got lit or you went home.
That sounds like a lot of fun.
Totally.
And also, Dhanji, with those who were here in order to start the work, what were the principles that Swamiji encouraged in those people?
Selfless service. That was above all. Don't think about yourself. You're uncomfortable. You don't have your food that you usually had. You're too hot. Don't think about yourself. Think about the people. That was the biggest thing. And high energy. Be energetic, enthusiastic, and I'm awake and ready. All of those principles. attunement to the guru, service to the guru. Here's another one: cooperation, harmony, completing the job. I mean, if he gave you something, he expected it to be done. He didn't want to come running behind you. Now, why didn't you do that? And you should have done that. And why didn't you tell me? He didn't have time. He didn't have the time left in his life. So he was looking for people who were just gonna get up and go. And he inspired that in you. You saw how much he was doing and how poor his body, his health was. You just did anything because you saw what he was doing at his age with the body difficulties that he had. So
May I ask you this from your personal life? Were there any stories that you would like to share with your time with Swamiji in India?
yeah, I'll share one.
Okay.
I might share another, but the one was really amazing because, as I said, he was in poor health. So we were at Swamiji's house in Gurgaon, and it was Christmas time. It was it was my first Christmas. The others had been there 1 year earlier. So that was a lot of us there. Shankar, I remember, was there. Jaya might have been there. He might come a little later. Hari and Roma, people you might know, were all there. So Leela, different ones. So anyway, it was, the holidays initially were difficult because, it's like you somewhere at Diwali and nobody's celebrating Diwali, so it was like difficult. So I remember at Christmas, there was no Christmas tree, there was no Christmas gifts, there was no Christmas songs, there was no Christmas. And so, but Swamiji was unwell, but he said, I'll come down, because everybody was gathered. He said, I'll come down. And he could barely get down the stairs, and you just felt so bad that, he felt so bad. So he came and sat on the couch. There were all the people, us, not guests. It was just the family. He sat there, and I mean, he could barely, I want to say breathe. I mean, he could breathe, but he wasn't feeling well at all. So he didn't say anything, and we didn't say anything. We just sat with him, and we didn't want to disturb him. So after a while, one person from the back said, Swamiji, can we sing some of your Christmas songs? And it was so sweet. And he said, oh, okay, sure. So then it wasn't a choir, it was just spontaneous. So we sang Christmas Mystery or one of the songs. And I noticed Swamiji just kind of, he was picking up. And then someone else said, let's sing this song too. And so Swamiji said, oh, okay, why don't you sing that? So everybody sang. And he just started picking up. And then someone else, why don't we sing this song? And we sang, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 songs. And it raised Swamiji's energy to have those songs sung. And, it was like a balm, a healing balm for him. And then he talked for at least an hour about Master at Christmas times. And he was completely fine. And it wasn't even so much what he said. It was one story after another about Master. We were just like mesmerized. And I felt Master was in the room. That's the best explanation I can give. And we were so worried about Christmas, and then we felt, wow, he's like a Christ. I mean, we felt that vibration so strongly through him. It's like Master came in him and just, everybody got blessed. And during that time, that hour, he was fine. And then he got up and walked off. We were so, we felt so dumb. Like, what is a tree when you're sitting with a Christ? What does it mean to have a Christmas present? When you look what Master gave us. And the fact that it healed Swamiji, at least at that moment, I think it was like a miracle. It's very moving. Those kind of moments, you'll never forget them. I'll tell you one thing we forgot about. Christmas. We just didn't want to hear about it. That was our Christmas right then and there. Yeah, that was wonderful. Okay.
Second.
Acha. Okay, I got one. That was a deep one. I have one funny one. So this is about Swamiji coaxing me to learn Hindi. Main Hindi bolti hu. So Swamiji kept saying from the very beginning, because I spoke Italian when we lived in Italy, and he knew I could at least have half a chance. So he kept saying, Dhyana, you just got to learn Hindi. You've got to learn Hindi. And, I had a younger brain in Italy. And I just thought, oh God, I don't know if I can learn another language. So, but he didn't stop. You just got to learn it. So then my friend Leela, you remember Leela? She would say, I would say 2 words to her. She said, wow, you're learning Hindi. So then she tells Swamiji. So then Swamiji says, oh, Dhyana, Leela says you're learning Hindi. So then he would say something in Hindi. I go, what's that? He would say, oh my God, So then that went on for some years, I might say. So finally, the last time I was with Swamiji, this is how strongly he felt about it. We're in the car driving him to the airport. We're nearly there. It's like 3 minutes away. It's after a long visit of Swamiji's. And so there's a couple of us in the car, and I'll never forget, I'm in the back seat and just so happy the trip went well. There was no major catastrophes. And so we're just almost entering into the airport, and Swamiji says, Dhyana? I said, yes, Swamiji. He says, why don't you learn Hindi? I said, why? And he says, why not? I said, okay, Swamiji. अब मैं हिंदी बोलती हूँ. Thank you, Swamiji. Wonderful, huh?
Absolutely.
So, I mean, he didn't relent. He was always like, if you needed to do that, and I'm so grateful, because wherever I go, it just opens doors. He didn't want us to be foreigners. He wanted you to get in. And that's why also I've got the S-Raj. So.
And I'm sure I can attest to this. आपकी हिंदी मेरी हिंदी से अभी अच्छी है.
अच्छा, बहुत अच्छा.
Really. Finally, Janji, just one last question about you've seen the work evolve and grow in India. Are you happy?
थोड़ा सा.
थोड़ा सा?
No, that's a mistake. बहुत ज़्यादा.
बहुत ज़्यादा. Wonderful.
बहुत ज़्यादा. I think for me, the best part is, Jayaji said this the other day, the friends, the deep spiritual friends that you get here. Of course, the deep teachings, everything is deep, but the friends that you get are just, it's from past lives. It's not one lifetime. So, and the work itself is exploding. Look how many centers we have. And we had one when Swamiji was here. Now we have 13 centers. I don't know how many meditation groups. You guys are 6 or 5 or 6 or 7 or something. Online community, home study. These guys are doing the yoga programs. There's so many. We have Brindaban, that program for the widows. We have Education for Life going. We have the autobiography of a yogi series about to come out. But the main thing, with Swamiji went, we have people. We didn't have any people at the beginning. We have Indians leading the work here. And every center practically is led by Indians, local. So that's what he wanted. And by now I'm half Indian. So I think he's happy. I mean, I'm happy, it means nothing, but if the gurus are happy and Swamiji's happy, that's all it takes.
Thank you, Janji. Thank you for that share.
Music?
Share as we always make. So we'll take this 5 minutes to set up and then we'll start.
Anyway.
Hare Krishna. Just a second. Can this go up a little?
Hare Hare Guru, Hare Hare, Hare 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 Guru, Hare Hare, Hare Hare Guru, Hare 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 Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Hare Guru, 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 Hare
So the next one. Lord, I am thine. So use this one.
Lord, I am thine, I am thine, I am thine. Lord, I am thine, I am thine. Lord, I am thine, I am thine, I am thine. Lord, I am thine, I am thine. Be thou mine, oh, be thou mine. Be thou mine, oh, be thou mine. I am thine, I am thine. Be thou mine, oh, be thou mine. Be thou mine, oh, be thou mine. I am thine, I am thine. Lord, I am thine, I am thine, I am thine. Lord, I am thine, I am thine. Lord, I am thine, I am thine, I am thine. Lord, I am thine, I am thine. Be thou mine, oh, be thou mine. Be thou mine, oh, be thou mine. I am thine, I am thine. Be thou mine, oh, be thou mine. Be thou mine, oh, be thou mine. I am thine, I am thine. Lord, I am thine, I am thine, I am thine. Lord, I am thine, I am thine. Lord, I am thine, I am thine, I am thine. Lord, I am thine, I am thine. Be thou mine, oh, be thou mine. Be thou mine, oh, be thou mine. I am thine, I am thine. Be thou mine, oh, be thou mine. Be thou mine, oh, be thou mine. I am thine, I am thine. तुम्हारा, मैं तुम्हारा, मैं तुम्हारा, प्रभु मैं तुम्हारा, तुम्हारा। प्रभु मैं तुम्हारा, मैं तुम्हारा, मैं तुम्हारा, प्रभु मैं तुम्हारा, तुम्हारा। हो जाओ मेरे, हो जाओ मेरे, हो जाओ मेरे, हो जाओ मेरे, प्रभु मैं तुम्हारा, तुम्हारा। हो जाओ मेरे, हो जाओ मेरे, हो जाओ मेरे, हो जाओ मेरे, प्रभु मैं तुम्हारा, तुम्हारा। प्रभु मैं तुम्हारा, मैं तुम्हारा, मैं तुम्हारा, प्रभु मैं तुम्हारा, तुम्हारा। प्रभु मैं तुम्हारा, मैं तुम्हारा, मैं तुम्हारा, प्रभु मैं तुम्हारा, तुम्हारा। हो जाओ मेरे, हो जाओ मेरे, हो जाओ मेरे, हो जाओ मेरे, प्रभु मैं तुम्हारा, तुम्हारा। हो जाओ मेरे, हो जाओ मेरे, हो जाओ मेरे, हो जाओ मेरे, प्रभु मैं तुम्हारा, तुम्हारा। प्रभु मैं तुम्हारा, मैं तुम्हारा, मैं तुम्हारा, प्रभु मैं तुम्हारा, तुम्हारा। प्रभु मैं तुम्हारा, मैं तुम्हारा, मैं तुम्हारा, प्रभु मैं तुम्हारा, तुम्हारा। Take the moment of a silence. Joy, joy, your Lord.
feeling this joy, offering it to the divine, to the masters, and drawing their grace into our consciousness through the self-offering. So we will chant, I awake in thy light, I awake in thy light. Then we will chant two times each. Then awake in thy love and awake in thy joy. So join in if you can. It's a simple chant by Swami Kriyananda. I awake in thy light, I awake in thy light. I am joyful, I am free, I awake in thy light. I awake in thy light, I awake in thy light. I am joyful, I am free, I awake in thy light. I awake in thy love, I awake in thy love. I am joyful, I am free, I awake in thy love. I awake in thy love, I awake in thy love. I am joyful, I am free, I awake in thy love. I awake in thy joy, I awake in thy joy. I am joyful, in thy joy, I awake in thy joy. I am joyful, I am free. I awake in thy joy. I awake in thy light. I awake in thy light. I am joyful, I am free. I awake in thy light. Let's meditate for 1 minute.
As we come to the conclusion of this evening, we'll end with a blessing. So there will be a silent chanting going on. So please feel free to come to the altar and take a blessing from one of us, and then also offer your pranam to the masters. We'll just give a moment as we just slide the instruments aside.
Please come as you feel to.
Shri Yogananda, guide to inner freedom, steal into my heart of hearts, banish my delusions. Shri Yogananda, guide to inner freedom, steal into my
Stand. We'll close rubbing our hands together. Just hold the mic up. Sending the blessings we felt this evening out to souls in need everywhere and out to the whole world, chanting Om together. Om. 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 Divine Mother, great masters, may thy love shine forever on the sanctuary of my devotion, and may I be able to awaken thy love in all hearts. I am thine, be thou mine. I am thine, be thou eternally mine. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. God bless you all.
Thank you, Dhyanaji. Thank you, everyone. We will just gather for some prasad outside. And Dhyanaji would be around, so some discussion may continue. Thank you. Hey.